Welcome, welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button coming through the door, good people. Um, it's your boy Carcino for life saying please subscribe. We will have a live stream tonight on the Patreon. Should be very interesting as we cover a lot of subjects all in one live stream. Oh, this is Sean Marks and the fact that Sean Marks, the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets, we're going to cover that situation right now. A lot of you didn't know Sean Marks is actually for those that didn't know, he's actually played for the Toronto Raptors. He's the first New Zealand player ever to play in the NBA. People in Brooklyn like, I don't give a fuck. Send his ass to Toronto then. They don't want to see Sean Marks. People in Brooklyn are very pissed off about this whole situation. They don't care who's coming. They just know he should be going. So a lot of people right now are very angry and upset over Sean Marks' decisions. We'll say that decisions in the past 48 hours or 2 weeks. Now, here's one thing that's not going to happen. Sean Marks is not going to trade Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and put them in the East. They don't want the team in the East. They feel like having the team on the East is more visits, more controversy. They would rather have to deal with them one time a year, unless they play in the NBA Finals. They would only have to have Kyrie and Kevin Durant enter their building once. So they want to send them out west. Kyrie wants to go out west. They have no problem with trying to acquire him to the Los Angeles Lakers or any team in the West. They don't want him to go to any team in the East. Here's the thing. Pat Riley has more to offer the Brooklyn Nets than the Phoenix Suns. And that's the only place Kevin Durant really wants to go. Now, Durant has taken a lot of heat because they're like, once again, he's going after the number one team in the NBA, the number one team in the East, and the number one team in the West. Them are his two top options. Kevin Durant never said anything publicly to anybody. But me observing basketball and knowing the situation and talking to people that know the situation close hand, they basically said this is his decision based on the fact of the way he operates. I don't believe he's going to Miami at all. I don't believe he's going to any team in the East. Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets, they don't want Kevin Durant keep coming back into the arena knowing everything that just transpired. I think him and Kyrie Irving are both going out west. So that is the new development here, is that basically all the East teams, even though they have put together great package deals, even the Charlotte Hornets have gotten involved in trying to acquire Kevin Durant. Mm, no, it's going to take more than just Westbrook. It's going to take some picks. Joe Smith is going to be added. Joe Harris, I mean, to be added to the trade. They'll take Joe Harris off the Brooklyn Nets back, but Kyrie's going to the Lakers. I hope they can get it at the beginning of the year. If not, they'll get it before the trade deadline. But this will be his last season. Well, Kevin Durant had to make that decision because if you don't make your decision right before free agency starts, that's why he did it right before free agency went into play because you don't want the Phoenix Suns to jump up and trade Ayton away or do something like that, and that messes up free agency. So now you can't go to the Phoenix Suns because they didn't trade it away their asset. They would have been able to get you, but if you made your announcement later. So his announcement was made the day before free agency. So if they had any plans of getting rid of Ayton, now you can negotiate with the Brooklyn Nets for Ayton to make sure they facilitate this transition. He called the owner and not Sean Marks. He was not talking to Sean Marks, even though Sean Marks is going to negotiate it. He's going to do it on behalf of the owner because the owner, he went above Sean's head on this one, Kevin Durant, because he's very disappointed in what Sean has done after what Sean had basically told them in their relationship as a team. They felt like Sean has violated everything that he has promised and seemed to be, changing directions. And if you're changing directions, Kevin needs to be kept into the loop. So the direction was told that Kyrie wanted out and is not happy with what we offered him. Kyrie told KD what the situation was. The team let Kevin know that Russell Westbrook trade is a possibility because he wants to go to the Lakers. So they want to know his relationship with playing with Westbrook again, and he's 100% against that. He's played with Westbrook before in OKC and feels that that time has come and gone, and does not want to go into a Russ and KD situation all over again. He says, no, that's not feasible for me. You can just go ahead and trade me. If Kyrie is leaving and you guys are committed to that, then I would request, a trade, preferably to Phoenix. So the owner made him a good faith deal because he's done everything they've asked. They said we loved having you here and this and that, and we'll make this happen for you. We'll do what we can to make this thing happen for you. So they have a good faith deal on the table, not with Sean Marks, but with the owner. Kyrie is not too happy with Sean Marks. A lot of people aren't happy with Sean at this time. Sean, they felt, altered and deviated from the plan. And he felt like this was the NBA, more like putting pressure on Sean Marks more than it was Sean Marks' decision. Sean Marks is former Toronto Raptor, didn't quite make it in the league. He was from New Zealand, so it brought some New Zealand market in. They had a first New Zealand player in, and he quickly did what a lot of players who played in this league and wasn't that talented to contend with some of the other athletes out here. They just become a role player. And they kept him in the league long enough because he was from New Zealand. They never had a player from there. So the NBA want to be, expanding to their markets. Well, Stephen A. Smith plays a role in that as far as putting a false narrative on a player. That's Stephen A. Smith's curse. Don't forget to hit the like button. Sorry they're not sending out notifications like they should. I don't know what the problem is there now. Kevin Durant will not be going to the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, that's a farce. That's just for media. He's not going to the Los Angeles Lakers. They don't have a package for Kevin Durant. The Lakers don't have enough to offer for Kevin Durant. And by the time you give up all those pieces for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and LeBron, they're not going to have anything left. They would have to trade Anthony Davis in order to get Kevin Durant. You're not going to be able to have Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving. It's not going to happen. Once again, let me repeat this. The Lakers aren't trading Anthony Davis for Kevin Durant. It's not going to happen. It's not on the table. It's fan fiction. Fan fiction. I'm stuck in reality right now. I'm not. It's not. I would have traded AD if I knew I can get Kevin Durant for Anthony Davis. Hell yeah, I would. But I'm saying they're not going to do that because one, Kevin Durant has never declared he wants to go play with LeBron James with the Lakers. That's not his decision. That's not his destination. That's not where he wants to go. And the last thing you want to do is have a superstar player who's malcontent on being there. That's why when you have a superstar player, you just don't trade them where you want to trade them. You trade them where they want to go. Because the other team gets this player and this player doesn't want to play or sit out the year. And Kevin Durant will sit out a year. He got enough money to sit out a year. 2 years if he wanted to. Do you want to be the team that had to take that trade and have a player sitting out on you? He's going to the Phoenix Suns. Just getting that done is the process. But Kevin Durant is going to Phoenix. Kyrie Irving is going to the Lakers. That is what's going to happen now. Oh, I can't wait. Everybody's going to get the shirts. Kyrie, LeBron 2.0. This is the splash that Jenny Buss loves. Is headlines, is Lakers in the media, people coming to the games. Russell Westbrook will be gone. And this is going to look really good until Kyrie gets into it with Darvin Ham. And him and Coach Ham disagree on something. And then LeBron's not playing defense. Here come the losses. AD's hurt again. He's in street clothes. And then everybody's like, oh, man, what's going on here? Then LeBron breaks it and blows a tire. And then he's out for 2 weeks. I'll be back stronger than ever. Yep. Just wait. Playoff mode activated. And then he comes out there and it gets worse. And he blows the other tire. Man, just seemed like we struck with bad luck. So then everybody starts to blame Kyrie when they losing, because Kyrie needs a mental day to process everybody in LA hating on him. So he wants to block out the LA hate. So he lights some sage and starts spraying it around Staples Center. And it's gonna be a whole mess. And everybody loves a mess. And they're gonna report it on it every day. Lakers going to the championship. They about to win a title. Then it's going down. Oh, but he is. Oh, but he is going to play with LeBron again. Oh, he is going to the Lakers. But only for this season. Next year, he's a free agent. And there's no telling that the Lakers are going to re-sign Kyrie Irving next season. There's no guarantee on that. And that's the only thing Kurt Rambis does not want Kyrie Irving on the team. I have been told verbatim that the person in the Lakers organization that don't want Kyrie Irving on the team, but for this 1 year, last year thing, okay, 1 year, fine. Long as we're not committed to Kyrie Irving for 4 years, Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis is very adamant about not adding this guy to the team. Magic Johnson has advised, oh, do it. Got to get rid of Westbrook. Magic is hell bent on Russell Westbrook not being with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's told Jenny Buss, he told Rob Pelinka, he told him, man, anything you got to do to get rid of Russ. I know it's hard to move. You might have to eat some money, but you don't want to go through another season with that. Because the fans gonna get on him. He gonna have a bad game. Fans gonna be on him, and he gonna shut down on you, and you don't want that. Y'all gotta get to the playoffs. So that's that. Great. Try to trade for Miles Bridges, a guy that's gonna be suspended, if not in jail, when all the smoke clears. The Charlotte Hornets was talking about doing a deal with him. That went way off the table. Now he's just a free agent, and he's able to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Because now he's screwed up. Well, that's the Lakers for you. They find a way to screw it all up. Sean Marks was he was out there negotiating deals to try to build a team around Kyrie and Kevin Durant. That's what he was in the process of doing for free agency. They were actually planning on doing this. They weren't planning on, we got to get rid of Kyrie Irving and all of these things. I told you, the deal they had in place, they thought they had a deal where it would be feasible and like he would love this deal. Like they thought like this is a great deal. We're giving him 4 year deal to Kyrie Irving. He'll love this deal. 2 years guaranteed. 2 years will be guaranteed based on like his availability. You know how many games he's played. Then he can get the rest of the money for the last 2 seasons based on how many games he played in the first 2 seasons of the deal. And Kyrie Irving thought that was a BS deal based on the fact that why should I have to do that when other players in this game, people get hurt, they blow their knee out, and you want me to not be able to get paid for getting hurt, for playing the game for you. when every other player in the league gets hurt, the team has to pay no matter what. That player is on your team. So you want Kyrie Irving to be the first player in NBA history to get injured, and his money is going to be reduced because he got hurt, forcing him to have to play hurt and injured. Where Sean Marks thought this contract was a great idea, Kyrie and his team, just like I think, thought that's an insult, and that was the NBA and not Sean Marks making that decision to try to make an example of Kyrie Irving. When you got guys like Anthony Davis, who's got full guaranteed money, and you got players like Zach LaVine getting $215 million. So that's a problem. And Marks knows more than anybody that this is a growing problem. He was preparing free agency to, like, Patty Mills is going to leave. They were going to grab some other guards to come out and some other backup players to strengthen the bench to gear around making another run for the championship. They were looking into defensive players and things of that nature. Gary Payton II was supposed to be a Brooklyn Net, but that changed once all of this happened. Brooklyn was one of the teams that was interested in signing him, but everything changed. Well, here's the thing. LeBron's a little upset and feel a little insulted that the Lakers haven't had that conversation about extension. No, you're right. Because that wouldn't fly in the Pat Riley system. Because in a Pat Riley system, that kind of nonsense don't fly. You might be wondering what I'm talking about. Kyrie in Miami? No way. But think about it. If you're the Brooklyn Nets, why on earth would you trade for Anthony Davis? This is a player who's right now coming off another injury. So I'm going to trade Kevin Durant for a player that's consistently injured. Consistently. And I already got a $100 million player that's injured and has not played a game for us yet. We traded for him. And now I'm going to trade for another guy who makes more than him, and he's injured. Should I deserve to keep my job? So no, KD's not going to the Lakers, and the Lakers are not trading Anthony Davis. That's the Lakers' mess to deal with. If you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, you should be scared. Because you guys have fallen way out of the rankings of winning an NBA championship. That ship has sailed. And it ain't coming back. Not this season. Not at all. Well, here's the thing. It's not that nobody wants Kyrie Irving. A lot of teams want Kyrie Irving. They just know that they don't want him for one season. And then the next year, why are they going to do all this trading to get him, and then they're not going to have him long term? What's up, Jonathan? Send Ben Wallace to give him a nice talking to. I don't think that's going to matter. The 76ers have offered the best deal, I think, on the table. And they're a strong candidate. But here's the problem with Brooklyn. They don't want to send another player into the East. They don't want Kyrie Irving, and they don't want the Kevin Durant show or the media fest to come around here and start all this talking. Well, see, the situation is you have different programs, you have different attitudes of people, whether it's good or bad. The attitude has to change in the league. That's why when the collective bargaining agreement comes around, if it wasn't, we'd be in a strike right now if it wasn't for this pandemic. Because the players have too much control. And they don't care that they're damaging the organizations. They just want to do what they want to do. They don't care what happens. They don't care if someone else is unhappy. The Clippers need a better center than Shoebox. I like Shoebox. The Lakers should have kept him. Well, I'm not stupid like I won't say stupid, but I'm not Nick Wrong and all those dudes. I don't do that what they do. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Kyrie and KD are in the same boat as Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They all came into the league or went to their teams right when LeBron teamed up with AD. All three were on different teams, and only one of those groups made it to the NBA Finals. No finals appearances for the other two super teams, and a championship for LeBron. But instead, the Lakers are the team that gets villainized over and over again. But they won a championship, and those other two, they haven't even had a finals appearances. So LeBron James is by far, that's sensationalism. That's that stuff that Nick Wrong do all the time, and it's sensationalism. He's putting up unfair scenarios and try to use that to definitively means one player is better than another, when that clearly has nothing to do with it. Don't forget to hit the like button, people. I know y'all got here and y'all didn't do it, but please hit the like button so they can know that y'all are real people. Well, that's the problem. It's the same as yesterday, same as today. There's so many different situations out here. Thanks, Easy Money. And if you got to bet your money, you bet he's going to Phoenix, and Kevin Durant, and bet that Kyrie is going to the Lakers. Might not be right now. They're going to try to get it done now. But it is happening. Oh, Chris Retard. Oh, he's definitely on the list. He's not a bad person. It's just that once he went off the journalistic point and just said, I could just make up fan theory, he's been god awful. His analogies are terrible. They're misleading. And basically, they just clickbaitish. His whole thing, he'll say something even more dumb. He'll come right in and be like, I remember I talked to the Cavs organization, and they were telling me Kyrie Irving was one of the glue, and he made LeBron James a lot better when he got there. And they played off each other, and the team followed that energy. And I think if you put those two back in LA And let's say AD is there and he's slacking off. Now you got Kyrie Irving to help LeBron. That energy of them playing alongside with AD, that's going to make him play through the pain. I think he would actually play through the pain. I think last season he kind of looked at his team and said, I don't want to play through this pain. I don't think this team is worth me playing through the pain. And I think he kind of sat out because of it. When Kyrie's there and LeBron, he going to feel like we got a chance. So I'm going to play through the pain. That is what he's going to do. He is going to sensationalize a whole event. I ran that boy off of boxing. He used to try to talk boxing on ESPN. I ran him away from boxing. I had to get on his head. Rob Parker. Rob is from Detroit. Everybody loved Rob Parker because he always say something controversial. That's why Rob couldn't be on ESPN no more. Because Rob was too controversial. Because Rob talked like he at the barbershop. So a lot of people know Rob. But he pissed Kwame Brown off. He pissed Kwame off. And shouts out there, Kwame Brown. Man, Kwame Brown buzzed life. That's what I'm talking about. Boy, when Kwame Brown come back, he finna air y'all out. It's a couple of idiots jumping up and down like, we won. I'm like, what did you win? It's funny. He just be like, Rob Parker, you just ugly. Man, Kwame had me on the floor, man. I was laughing so hard. Rob Parker, you just ugly. And they played it on their show, too. Sean Marks will not do that. Granted, once again, Sean Marks is not that kind of individual. Sean Marks is not going to allow them to be on the East. He's going to keep them in the West because he don't want them in the building more than one time. Kyrie come back for one game. That's all they got to worry about. If they're on the East, you got to see them at least 2-3 times in your building a season. Well, the NBA Player Commission is going to be talking about this because this affects the league. Remember when they were saying like all the talent was in the West? Well, it's starting to like resort back to that tactic. Nobody was going to play on the East. And they was like, it ain't fair. All the talent is in the West. All the East suck. But see, they don't mention that about the Jordan era. But that's a whole nother story. Who was on the East when Jordan won them 3 championships in 96, 97, and 98? Who was on the East that could contend with the Bulls? In 96, they had the Orlando Magic. And Shaq went after 96, joined the Lakers. After they got swept by the Bulls, he went and joined the Lakers. The Indiana Pacers. Are you kidding me? Reggie over the hill. Mark Jackson way over the hill. The Davis boys. That was the only team they had of competition. The Cavs was no competition. They had no superstars. In 98, they just got Sean Kemp on the team. And they made a playoff run push. And Mark Price is hitting all those threes. But honestly speaking, they were no competition. None whatsoever. That's one team in the East. There was no superstars in the East during that time. Patrick Ewing was over the hill. The Knicks were done. They missed their boat. It's what the league turned into during that time. Everything and everybody was done. So we're resorting back to that. So the NBA's competition committee is going to be looking into things like that to make sure that it's fair. So if you got all these teams on the West that are super powered and loaded, the East becomes this rubber duck league where the only teams that you got of any type of competition or any kind of comparison of any kind is when you start talking about comparisons and charts, the only team you got out there is the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis. And you got the 76ers. That's it. Other than that, it's the same old, same old. He said Ben Simmons deactivated his Instagram. I mean, he should. I mean, everybody been roasting him. Ain't been nothing positive on his IG. So I would understand why he did it. Cause I'm like, dog, you you like a major part of the problem. To me, it's quite simple. The problem has always been poor decision making. But when agenda base is in place, trying to make Kyrie have to conform, then I understand what he's fighting for. And when you start seeing players fight for what they believe in and they being ostracized or put in a situation where they're being bullied, then you can understand it. Hey, what's going on? Hello. Yeah, the rabbit came back. Yeah, he was gone. Oh yeah, the silk sheets. I got silk pillowcases now. Yeah. I get the silk sheets, I'm gonna jump on them and slide right off, just like on Van Wild. Yep. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Salute to y'all. And remember, Sean Marks will be in the unemployment line very soon. So definitely, you see him there, tell him he did it to himself. Should have listened to us. And he would have had a job. All right, I'm out.